This video is sponsored by Thrive Market.
If we take all that away,
if I did both procedures at the same time, the total cost for that would end up being Good morning. Welcome to a very chaotic day in our house. We have a construction crew that is working on our bathroom that is currently being remodeled. Chris is out of town visiting some friends this weekend. I am working today. I have a doctor's appointment later. We're doing all the multitasking things. I am making breakfast for the kids. We're doing some protein pancakes and just scrambled eggs. And then for myself, I have been trying to eat breakfast the last few months very consistently and also increase my fat. So I am looking for ways to get more animal fat in. And so, I have cubed up some pork belly. A lot of times in other videos, I've shown you where I take a big piece of pork belly and I cut it into big chunks so that it gets crispy on the outside while it's juicy on the inside. I've been loving a totally different texture of pork belly where I take these like little cubes and I put them in the air fryer for way longer, and then they get real crunchy, almost like a cracklin. This is a skin off pork belly that I just got from Costco. I broke down that big slab into some smaller pieces, and then I just thawed it. So this actually is gonna be enough for me for tomorrow too. And then I'm just gonna throw this in the air fryer, and it's gonna take like 20 minutes while I make the rest of the kids' breakfast. I seasoned the pork belly with a little salt, pepper, garlic, and then while that was cooking, I also ate a couple of the leftover protein pancakes. And they're so lean, so I just put a little bit of butter on it and munched on a couple of the leftovers the kids were not eating. I will link the protein I used and the recipe for these in the description. The pork belly I left this in for like 17 minutes, but you honestly can just cook it until it gets to the desired crunchiness that you like. Chris likes his a lot less cooked, but he's gone, so we made it how I do it. Honestly, the best way to just get the texture that you like is to cut either bigger pieces or smaller pieces. Like these little teeny ones are super crunchy. They just render down more fat. So, I mean, I am trying to up my fat percentage, so I left some pieces a little bigger. But the longer that you cook this and the smaller pieces that you have, the more fat is gonna kind of melt away. So just be aware of that depending on your goals. I am just gonna eat this pile of pork belly. The kids are gonna clean up breakfast. And then I am gonna go get some work done, and then we're gonna head to my appointment in a little bit. Okay, this delivery was such perfect timing. This video is sponsored by Thrive Market, and my Thrive box came late last night, which was perfect because I'm taking the kids with me to my appointment today. And it's like a 45-minute drive each way. My appointment's at 11. I was trying to think of like a snacky, healthy lunch that I could pack for the kids. This is where I get all of my healthy swap essentials for the kids, and then also a bunch of stuff for Carnivore as well. Nathaniel has a baseball game tomorrow, and we are required to bring the snack, which don't even get me started on the requirement for sports snacks and all of this ridiculousness. If I'm forced to bring the snack, at least I know it's gonna be healthy and low carb. I'm gonna make a snack bag with this. And I mean, like, you know, everybody goes all out. It's not like back when we were kids where the snack was like one orange slice. This is, you gotta do like a snack bag. And you know we have to get some extra protein. I got some turkey sticks. So we're gonna give the kids protein, something low carb, and then a little bit of very clean fruit for the snack bags. This is an avocado oil buffalo ranch. I'm gonna eat this with wings, and it's gonna be so good. And as a way of getting in more protein, if you're making like stocks or soups or anything, like swap out any water or bouillon that you're using for actual bone broth. I have chicken bone broth, I got turkey bone broth, and I got a grass-fed beef bone broth. So these are all super clean and carnivore friendly. Last box, I got the pork lard, which we're having fun cooking with, and I needed some tallow, so I grabbed that this time. We always are doing some type of pork rinds, so I got like the 4505 chili lime ones for me, and then Chris goes through the spicy ones. And then we have all of my favorite like seasoning blends when I want to make sure things are staying really clean. So uncured bacon bits. The good news is all orders over $49 ship for free. Plus, I mean, these were already like a couple of dollars cheaper through Thrive than they were if I went to the regular grocery store, and I would have had to go to multiple places to get all of this stuff that we use regularly. So not only am I saving money from not paying for shipping, but also just like on my groceries in general. All you have to do is click the link in the description or go to thrivemarket.com/LauraSpath and you can get 30% off your first order, and you can get a free gift worth up to $60. So thanks to Thrive for the groceries, for saving me today so I can pack the kids some protein and a little lunch, and thanks for sponsoring this video. Okay, go get your shoes. We gotta go. Today, my appointment is at my plastic surgeon's office, the same one that did my skin removal on my stomach, and we are having a consult for a brachioplasty, which is removing all of this excess skin on my arm. Like, I have some good muscle under there, but there is just skin and extra adipose tissue that will not go away no matter what. So I'm here today to talk about options, like what the recovery would be like, and then what the cost would be.
So, we're going to talk about your back and your arms.
Yes.
Okay.
And you had suggested the back kind of at the same time, and you were right. Like, I definitely think it would have helped with the back, my skin that's on the lower back.
Yeah.
And then also just, I thought I could get over it, and I can't.
Yeah, so oftentimes what we see at the flank or the mid-back originates from a higher location.
Yep.
Right? And especially with weight loss and age and genetics, you recruit all that skin your entire life, right? But when you start losing elasticity, then that skin sags, and it shows up as either like kind of a mid-back roll or even volume in your flanks. So if we pick that up, then all of a sudden your waistline looks better and your back looks better, and you know, all the while we're just taking away the excess. And I'll show you how much we pinch, and you'll be very surprised. It's a lot of tissue.
Okay.
Right? As far as brachioplasty.
Yes.
So brachioplasty is an amazing surgery because so many people in Arizona say, I can't deal with the looseness there, right? And you can't hide in short sleeve shirts or sleeveless shirts, and you can do that 300 days a year in Arizona. So brachioplasty is it. The only caveat to that is it's literally our only plastic surgery that we can't necessarily hide your scars.
But I thought I never wanted it because of the scar, and I realized that I don't wear short sleeves now anyway. Like, at this point, I'm at the point where I would rather have a scar than have the volume.
And because of that, you know, initially I do them and go, okay, as long as you're accepting of the scar. Now we do an additional procedure included in the brachioplasty, which is called nanofat.
Okay.
And I literally inject your fat that is processed through a filter and micronized in the sense that we open up the fat cell. Yeah. And everything that's in the fat cell almost has this rejuvenating effect. So now our brachioplasty scars, instead of kind of a raised red ropey, are just super thin.
Well, I think too, what convinced me also was how good my tummy tuck scar looks. And I was like, if this is all that it would be on my arms, like, I'll take that over the volume on my arms anyway. And also I'll say, like, anytime I had weight fluctuations at all, it always used to go to my stomach just because of that extra adipose tissue. Right. And that after weight loss, you know, it would still, any fluctuations I had was in my belly. Well, you took all that excess tissue off. So now any weight fluctuations I have goes right to my arms. We're like a couple of pounds weight difference. Really? And I notice my arms are holding any extra weight because my body can't put it on my belly anymore.
Yeah, we've altered the number of fat cells you have in this location versus
and now I'm like, well, my arms are kind of taking the brunt of
that was the plan the whole time. I'm just kidding.
Now I'm back.
Okay. Well, have your arm up like this, and I want to scoot this all the way up. Okay, and then I want to bring you back like this. So, when I see this much volume, right? There's no option. Okay, because the options will be less desirable in the sense that you won't see a good result. So everything above my thumb, right, is your arm, and everything below is extra. Yeah. Okay, and when I pinch that skin, you don't really have any rebound, right? It just hangs there, which means some of our skin tightening procedures, which I could offer on some people, wouldn't necessarily work on you, right? So if we take all that away and I bring your arm back like this, okay, that is the appearance that we're going for.
Yep.
Okay, because what we do is evacuate all this fat, and then that enables us to tailor the skin to the contour of your arm. And if you look where your arm meets your side,
yep,
or your axilla, we just basically put a line right underneath here, all the way to here. Okay.
At this point, I stopped filming because I got a lot more undressed. But we talked about options for removing the skin from my back. What they do is they'll take a big triangle of skin from your upper back, and then that takes the excess skin from your lower back and then moves it up. But it starts in the middle of your back and then widens out to a triangle, and then they shrink all that up. Okay, awkward transition, but I had to get home, get back to work, and now I'm cooking a late lunch. We're gonna do smash burgers. I am measuring out 4 ounces of beef per burger ball. You could do 3 ounces if you like them a little smaller, but this is just a good size and what fits on our griddle best. I also am gonna make 2 pounds of bacon, so we'll eat probably a pound for lunch today, and then we'll have a pound left over for quick breakfasts. I like to just separate it so it's faster and easier for me to lay out on the griddle. Even though it's February, I have gorgeous weather here in Arizona, and I'm able to put 2 pounds of bacon all on the flat top at the same time. So we're gonna cook outside. It's kind of the beauty of living in Arizona as we get this beautiful weather like this. If I wasn't cooking outside, my favorite way to do bacon right now is just to cut it in half and cook it on a stovetop in a pot. Well, I definitely got some good information today. I had some questions about recovery, and as expected, it would be like 6 weeks of minimal movement, no lifting anything. I think that it wouldn't be quite as difficult as the tummy tuck because you don't have the muscle repair. That was definitely the hardest part of that procedure. But it is a lot of, I mean, if I did both procedures at the same time, you know, you'd have both of your arms and then you have an entire incision across your back. That's a lot of open area that would need to be taken care of and healed. So that is definitely something to consider. And then it's, you know, timing, the cost, like we're gonna have to like do our taxes and figure out what does that look like. The brachioplasty surgery was like $8,000. They quoted another like $7,500 for just my back. But then there's the $4,000-ish for the anesthesia, and then another $5,000 for the facility. So if I did both procedures at the same time, the total cost for that would end up being like $20,000. My surgeon does not require an overnight stay like he does for the tummy tuck. However, it's something that you could do. You could stay like in a care facility the first night, which if I ended up doing this, I may do because that was just so convenient and helpful last time, and not having to drive back and forth and have somebody dealing with it your first time. So it's definitely a lot of things to consider, something that I will be thinking about for a while. In the meantime, I will keep fueling my body properly, taking good care of myself. One thing I know for certain is that no matter how perfect I am in terms of diet and exercise and fasting, the excess skin that I have from the size that I was and the age that I was and how long I was that heavy, that excess skin will not go away without surgery. And so if I decide I'm not gonna live with it anymore, it doesn't matter if I'm perfect for the next 10 years, like this skin is not gonna go away. And so surgery would be my only option. I'm cooking a few extras so that we actually have some leftovers for tomorrow as well. But if you were doing this for yourself, this would be an easy meal to do in a cast iron skillet inside. Just do a couple strips of bacon and then do your burgers in that bacon grease. And then you could, I'm gonna fry some eggs to go on top of mine as well. Ooh, ouch. Don't do that. The secret to good smash burgers is just to have a screaming hot griddle, and you put that raw meat on there and give it a really good smash. I am using a piece of parchment paper just to help it not stick to the metal spatula, and then don't touch it. I'm gonna salt them and then don't touch it until they're ready to flip, and you'll see the juices start to form and it starts to get brown, and give it a nice hard scrape and you know it's ready to flip. Here is my final meal for the day. I have really been in this great routine of having a big fatty breakfast, and then mid-afternoon, I have my second meal. I have 2 burger patties, that's about 8 ounces of beef. And then normally I would have just had like a bunch of beef and cheese, but I'm trying to not have tons of cheese anymore and not have tons of ground beef, which is really lean. So that's why we've added a bunch of bacon, and I did the fried eggs with the good egg yolks that I'm gonna put on top. So look, I have my burger stack, my runny eggs on my burgers. This is just like so good. And this is a way of just making sure that I'm getting enough protein and getting enough fat for the day. I don't have specific macros that I'm trying to hit every day. It really tends to fluctuate based on how I'm feeling, but I'm really careful to make sure that I'm consistently getting at least 120 grams of protein every day. All right, that's all I got for you today. Make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and we'll see what I end up deciding to do. Bye. One final reminder for you to check out Thrive Market. If you want to get 30% off your first order and that free gift worth up to $60, make sure you go to thrivemarket.com/LauraSpath or click the link in the description.